Hello, my name is Tony Porter and I am the independent candidate for the Pemberton ward for the local elections on the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you if you're into that kind of thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look back at some of the leaflets that have come through over the last 12 months. So for example, this one is from Paul Prescott from last year, 2022, when I stood against him. This is my leaflet from the same election, so we'll look at those. Then we had a weird one, which was this one, which came through the letterbox. It's not my letterbox, I'll be honest with you. I don't get stuff off Labour anymore now. Don't know why. Anyway, yes, Marsh Green, Falkirk and Selkirk News. Labour inaction. Inaction being the operative word. Then I've been posting a few leaflets today, and I'll be honest with you, I've had 3 people offer me these for the recycle bin. I didn't even knock on people's doors. But yes, this is the election pamphlet for J. Prescott, Paul Prescott and E. Rigby. And I have a major issue with this, which is basically cover the road up. But why have we got 3 councillors, not candidates, actual councillors, who were all from the same household? Why have we got 2 people who are married to each other on the council? Is that democracy? Or is that, well, not democracy? You decide. I think that, obviously it's within the rules, but I personally think that if you are married to someone who's a councillor, you should not be able to stand as a councillor, especially when there's only 75 councillors or thereabouts in Wigan. So yes, Elaine Rigby, I don't know, never even heard of her before these leaflets came through the door, I'll be honest, but apparently people have told me that she's related by marriage as well, but I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me on that one. But yeah, it does seem all very, very peculiar, and also I'm not sure whether democracy works like that. But anyway, let's start with my leaflet. So this is my leaflet, which I've done this year. Vote Tony Porter on the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. Independent local election, Pemberton ward. And see if we can get that a little bit better for you, lighting wise. Not really, but you can still read it. It's time for a change in Wigan. We need councillors who work for the people, who are responsible to the people, who listen to the people, who are not just there for themselves. I am that councillor. It is time for change, for common sense to return to local politics, and for the council to be held responsible for their actions. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? The era of voting Labour because Grandad did last century is over. You need to vote for what is happening today. Labour have got complacent. They think that no matter what they do, they will still get voted back in again. Well, we're here to tell them that they won't. However, if you don't vote at all, they will get back in. So the whole point is you need to vote. I mean, this is a Pemberton thing, but I'll be honest with you, it's the same for pretty much any other ward in Wigan Council, and to be fair, other councils around the country. Other councils are available. Well, I say no, with an exclamation mark. That's how angry I am. We have had enough of this council destroying the heritage of our great town, telling us what we want, ignoring and belittling people who question their actions. And then I say, when I elected, I will promise to hold regular meetings with you fortnightly in various locations and different times within the ward, listen to your concerns and put them to the council. I will donate up to half my income from the council, excluding legitimate expenses, back to the ward. Be it to food banks, entertainment for local residential homes, randomly paying for shopping in local shops. Don't expect me if I'm in a shop to pay for your shopping though, it's random. However, due to the fact that Wigan Council owned the Gallery Shopping Centre and kicked out loads of shops in March last year and then didn't do any for 6 months, money is a bit tight, so I've accrued some debts, including council tax. So basically, when I've cleared my debts, that's when I'll start doing this. But I will do it. I'm not here for the money. I'm not here for the glory. I'm here for the people of Pemberton stroke Wigan. And I'll be irritating to Wigan Council, and that's what they need. They need someone who's going to be irritating. Stop the building of cycle lanes. Where appropriate, make bus lanes that can be used by bicycles, taxis and buses. So what I mean by that is, if for example you drive through Saddle Junction, if for example you drive past Wigan Pier, and no doubt you can think of other places as well, there are these cycle lanes which have been built, which basically narrow the road for other traffic, which means other traffic gets congested, which means that buses and taxis are also caught up in that congestion. Let's be honest, diesel taxis and diesel buses are the main reason why we have bad air quality in the country. So why we are excluding them from cycle lanes where it is applicable to put them is beyond me. Bicycle lanes are not used 24/7. In fact, it's very rare they're used at all. But when you do use them, you can still use them as well as buses and taxis, which will take them away from the traffic queues. It makes sense. It's common sense, but we don't seem to have that. Make sure more new housing is affordable for our children and grandchildren to get onto the property ladder. Not just purchasing, but renting as well. I've noticed around and about Pemberton, and I will do a video on this, there are quite a lot of houses being built in various different places, and also in the outskirts of Wigan town centre as well. But are they affordable for people who were brought up in Wigan, who want to get on the property ladder, or are they just for people to be shipped in from out of town because they're too expensive, no one can afford them? A lot of people now are moving out of the cities, i.e. Liverpool, Manchester and other big cities as well, because you don't need to be where the jobs are. You don't need to go to the office every 5 minutes. You can go twice a month these days. So why would you live in a city centre when for the same money you can buy a house and price people out of the houses in local areas such as Wigan? I think it's a disgrace. But anyway, that's a story for another day. And there are issues in Pemberton that need addressing, antisocial behaviour being the main one. Why people are allowed to repeatedly drive off-road bikes and quad bikes around estates. Why have they not been seized and crushed? It's one thing building barriers, but we need to seize the things and crush them. Or even just move people out who are just repeatedly antisocial. Or is that too draconian? Well, it probably is these days, but anyway, I don't mind. Why have they not seized and crushed? Yeah, cars speeding through estates and fly tipping seems rampant. I will mention these issues considerably and more when elected as a councillor. I'm going to be that fly that really irritates Labour. I'm going to be that fly. You know when you're trying to have an ice cream, or a seagull when you're trying to have an ice cream or some chips, and it just keeps coming at you and coming at you and won't let go. That's me. So vote for me if you want to make the council feel uncomfortable. I stood last year and came second. Your vote means more in a local election than a general election, and this time you have 3 votes. It's quite complicated, yet it's quite simple at the same time. I'll go about that in a little bit. About me, I'm 58 years old. I live in a house in Marsh Green, and I've lived here for over 30 years. I'm very happy here as well. I have the same gripes as everyone else. Antisocial behaviour, rubbish everywhere, and the cost of living crisis. I know some of that is beyond the council's means, but I do empathise and I do feel the pain that all of us feel. I mean, just going to a supermarket or even a local shop and buying food is considerably more expensive than it was. I brought my daughter up here, raised her as a single parent, and then co-parent with my then girlfriend. And I'm now a grandfather of 2 fantastic grandchildren, one of each. Although these days, if you say one of each, that means 70 odd, doesn't it? But you know what I mean, one of each. I opened my first solo shop on Ormskirk Road, Pemberton in 2008. It was called Snark Store. It was about 3 doors up, 2 doors up, I don't know, from the pet shop, and next door to a very posh clothing shop, Aubergine, which is now relocated next to the lawnmower shop in Pemberton. I relocated to Wigan Town Centre in 2012, and I've just reopened a shop after 0 help from the council, even though every time they're asked, they tell how much help they've given to people. Well, they give a call to people, I'll be honest with you. So yeah, I got 1 phone call and 1 email from the council to help me, and basically that was it. And that was after I'd written in the Wigan Observer that I'd had, because I do a column in the Wigan Observer, although not at the moment because the election's on, but I do this column in Wigan Observer, and I basically said that I'd had no help, and lo and behold, I got some phone calls, well, one, and one email of somewhere I'd already discounted because it was not suitable on multiple levels. Anyway, I've now relocated the shop. It's now called Games and More because that's what we do. We do games and more, vinyl records, that kind of thing. And it's in the old Wigan Warriors shop in the back of the Grand Arcade, next to the old, now defunct Debenhams. Some people might know it as the post office, and some people might know it as it used to be a travel agent, but I don't remember the travel agents, I'll be honest with you. But anyway, digress. I run a YouTube channel. This is it. It's called The Elder Gamer, where I play video games, do cooking videos, and a programme which was mentioned on Talk TV, not in a good way, but it was still mentioned on national TV, called Wigan Watch, where I've been going on about all the stuff that's been going on in Wigan Town Centre pretty much since we got the letters for eviction for our shops in 2021. So yeah, there's a lot to look back on there. There are links available. I will make sure there's a link in the description, and also there'll be something to click on at the end of the video, assuming you stay to the end. If you haven't already decided that you're either definitely going to vote for me because I'm talking sense, or you think this guy's an idiot, I'm not going to vote at all, I'm going to vote for someone else. It's up to you. I have a sense of humour as well, which is unusual for councillors. I'll be honest, I don't take myself too seriously unless I need to. And when I do take myself seriously, my God, I take myself seriously. When I get focused on something, I am like a dog with a bone. I mean, genuinely, I will not let go. So, if you want to vote for someone who's got conviction, wants the best for Wigan, wants the best for Pemberton, wants the best for the people, rather than what's best for the council, then vote for me. I write a column I've already mentioned for the Wigan Observer, which is called Porter Ponders. If you get a leaflet, and you should get a leaflet at some point, there are QR codes that will take you to Wigan Watch and also take you to Porter Ponders archive. And there's another one there as well, which basically takes you to the results of last year's election. If you add up the votes of people who didn't vote for Paul Prescott last year, because he was the only one up, it's very close indeed. So we need people to vote tactically. Why you should vote and how it works this time is different, very different. This local election is different. We all have up to 3 votes to cast. Pemberton has 3 councillors, and all 3 are up for a re-election, or election in my case, because I've not been elected previously. To vote, place a cross next to your preferred candidate. Obviously, I would like that to be me, but you can vote up to 3 times. So you have up to 3 votes. So you could vote for me, and you could vote for Paul Prescott, and you could vote for the Lib Dem candidate, and that would be your 3 votes, and that would be fine. You could vote twice, so you could vote for me, you could vote for the Lib Dem, or you could vote for the Conservative, or you could vote for any of the Labour candidates with 2 votes and leave all the rest blank. That is fine as well. You can also vote once, ideally for me, because I'm the one who talks sense. But if you can't vote for Lib Dems, and you certainly don't want to vote Conservative, I understand why. That is fine, but you don't have to use all 3 votes. That is important. You can put a cross in up to 3 boxes against 3 different names. You can't vote for one person 3 times. You can only vote for them once. If you vote for someone more than once, it will void your vote. So no point even doing it. So if you vote for me and then you vote for another person, so you vote for 2 people, that is fine. Don't put any marks in any other boxes. If you want to vote for 3 people, that's fine as well. But you put 3 crosses in 3 different boxes and then leave all the rest blank. That's basically it. It's not overly complicated, but it is different. So just be aware. I've mentioned all that there. If you get the most votes from the election for the ward, so say for example I get more votes than any of the other candidates, then I would get a 4-year term, which means I would be a councillor for 4 years, and then I would have to seek re-election again. If I came second to another councillor, so I came in second place with the number of votes cast, I would get a 3-year councilship, whatever they call it, I don't know. If I come third, then I get a 1-year term as a councillor, and get re-elected again in 1 year's time, or go for re-election again in 1 year's time. That's because in 2025, for some reason, there's no elections. No idea why. I'm just like, yeah, okay, fair enough, whatever. Now, don't forget you need photo ID. I'm having issues with photo ID, which is ironic considering I'm a candidate, but I'm working on it. So hopefully I'll be able to vote for myself. If not, I really, 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 really need your votes. And I've added here, is it just me who thinks particularly Labour councillors seem to have photo opportunities just before an election? Look, I'm here at a fly tipping site, and look, I have cleared it. Look, I'm here at an event to publicise the council and money being spent on an area. Here I am looking sad because of antisocial behaviour. It's literally the same old drivel that they pipe out every single time. You notice that okay, I'm not a councillor, but my leaflet has very few photos. It's all about the context, not the pretense of look at me, aren't I great? I'm not interested in being a public figure in that way. I know I do Wigan Watch, I know I write for the Wigan Observer, I know I'm doing this video, I know I'm standing for election, but I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for the people of Wigan, and for me that is the right reason to do it. You shouldn't be in politics if you're only there for the money. Hi Paul, by the way, if you're watching, I hope you're enjoying this. Not. What else is going on? I will be different, regularly walking around the ward looking for issues that need attention, even when no election is near. So for example, if I get a 4-year election, if I win and get 4 years, I will not disappear. I will be everywhere. I will walk round. You can talk to me. That's what I'm there for. I'll even set up a phone number so you can WhatsApp me, you can text me, you can ring me if you want to. I'm there for you. I'm not there for me. So I will not just appear if I do get 4 years, 4-year term. I will not appear in 3 years and 6 months going, hi, look at me, aren't I great? No, I'll be doing that the entire time, only not saying am I great. I'll just be like, look, I'm here. Do you want to talk to me? Let's sort this out. Let's do this for you. So this is what is happening and what could happen. And this is different for Wigan, and it could be interesting as well. So yeah, I will have a phone number. You can directly ring or text me if there's an issue I've missed. I will also do free YouTube videos for local businesses, charities and clubs. So for example, if you run a rugby club for kids, or if you run a charity shop, or if you've got an event on to raise money for a hospice or something similar, or if you're a food bank and you want people to donate, I will do videos for you for free. I've got all the equipment here. This is done for free because I've already got all the stuff. I do YouTube. I've nearly got 3,000 subscribers. For a middle-aged white gentleman, that's pretty good. Of course, one of the big gripes at the moment is Wigan Town Centre redevelopment. Now, the thing to remember is Paul Prescott is on the planning committee. Nay, he's not just on the planning committee. As far as I'm aware, he's the chairman of the planning committee. So everything that's going on in Wigan Town Centre and all the road stuff and all that kind of gubbins, as far as I'm concerned, is down to Paul Prescott. And it's rubbish. I got accused of saying that the stuff that I want to do, instead of a cinema and a bowling alley with no parking, a hotel with no parking, or very limited parking anyway, and a food cube thing, black cube thing, is make a nice open square, have some from Standish Gate coming into the new massive Woodcock Square, which we could use for public events. So for example, Wigan Athletic getting back into the Championship next year, although it probably won't be ready by then. Wigan Warriors winning a cup or 2 or 3. Let's be optimistic. Christmas lights turn on. Have you ever been to a Christmas lights turn on in Wigan and it's in Market Place and it's like the tightest, squeeziest place in the world and all these businesses around are trying to run a business and no one can get in or out of the businesses because everyone is crammed in like sardines? Why don't we make a square that is big enough to do all this? You can have anything you want in that square. You can have it in the summertime just as somewhere to meet your friends, have a chat, share a coffee, have some chips, whatever. You could have it as, like I say, big Christmas tree, Christmas lights turn on. You could have it for the Pride marches. You could have it for the continental markets. It's literally in a perfect spot. It's right outside the bus station, right next to where the new market is going to be. And it's not going to cost a fortune. The problem I have with Wigan development is, from day one, they've said it's £130 million to do it. It's still £130 million to do it every time they quote a price. And you're like, well, how's that possible? Because everything's gone up. I mean, literally, everything's gone up. So, hasn't steel gone up, concrete gone up, glass gone up, copper for the electricity wiring and all that kind of stuff. Even the glass for the lighting as well. Everything's gone up. Workforce wages are going up. Everything's gone up. So how can we still do it for the same price? If we've only got a maximum amount of 130 million, we need to change what we're doing. It's too late to save the galleries. It is too far gone now with the demolition. There's nothing we can do to save it. So what we need to do is make sure there's something left for Wigan and Wiganers to actually have as a town centre. So forget the hotel, forget the cube thing, make a massive, nice big square, and instead of the cinema and the bowling alley, which costs a fortune, and let's be honest, they're 15, 20 years out of date. People have moved on. We don't go to the cinema to watch movies anymore. We stream them on multiple platforms. If we want to go bowling, there's a bowling alley that's perfectly serviceable with free parking outside it that's been there for decades. Why are we building another one? Wigan is not a city. Wigan is a town. And Wigan is a market town, and we seem to be forgetting that. I don't forget that. I will keep going. Anyway, so that's basically what's going on with the Wigan. But I do say here, it does rile me that the council have put up the hoardings around the galleries, including the wording, protecting our heritage. Is that the heritage that they keep destroying? Let's see. Wigan Pier nightclub, gone. Wigan Pier Museum, etc., gone for the moment. May come back, may not. Wigan Casino, gone for the Grand Arcade. Wigan Galleries, gone. But Wigan Galleries replaced the original Victorian Market Hall and that pub that I never saw because I'd never come to Wigan before the Galleries was built, but I know there was a big fight to save a pub. And that went as well, and the church and the old bus station and everything. And they have the gall to put up protecting our heritage. Jesus Christ. That doesn't, you know, I put here, it's almost funny. It certainly is ironic. And they think they're doing the right thing. I've been accused of saying that what I want for Wigan is this open square for all the stuff I've already mentioned, plus from Standish Gate, so opposite, pretty much opposite Wilco's and the old Marks and Spencer's shop, a walkway into there with little shops either side, and you can have seating outside when the weather's nice, and there could be little pop-up restaurants or little micro pubs or something, somewhere that people can meet and enjoy, a bit like they do outside of BAP, Starbucks and Nero, that kind of little area walking through. It's a lot cheaper, it's a lot easier to build, and it's a lot easier to fill if, like for example, a cinema chain pulls out because no one's going to the cinema anymore. Remember, Cineworld, who used to be in Wigan, their parent company in America has filed for bankruptcy because they're not making any money anymore. And I know for definite that people have been laid off and hours have been cut at Empire Cinema because they're not as busy as they were. I don't know anything about the bowling alley, but I can imagine similar kind of things. I don't agree with what Labour are doing with Wigan, says Super Gamer Plays. No, to be fair, it's not just Wigan, it's other areas as well. But yeah, we're specifically talking about Wigan. So, have I done all that? Oh yeah, here we go. Sorry. I am for cars. Wigan Council seem not to be. They have increased congestion in many places by removing lanes for cycle paths or just out of spite. At least that's what it feels like to me. A good example would be if you come past Wigan Pier and instead of going up into Wigan Town Centre past the railway stations, you turn right and you go past the various car showrooms, the car rental place, Kings, that kind of thing, and then you turn left and then you go under the massive bridge. There used to be 2 lanes that could turn left past the job centre, as was, and then go around into, whether you want to go to Bolton or whether you want to go to Hindley or whatever. There's only 1 lane now, which means now that the traffic has to back up under the bridge pretty much to the lights where the car showroom is. Now that is a lane of traffic that is not moving, whereas it used to move quite happily previously before they did that. So is Wigan Council deliberately trying to choke traffic out of Wigan? Don't forget they knocked down the galleries, which had hundreds of parking spaces, which have gone. Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, we do free parking at the weekends. Brilliant. What about the rest of the week? I mean, you've got the little car park behind the bus station, between the bus station and Deanery. You've got the car park, which is literally where I was saying, where you turn left to go around, because you have to turn left to go around over the dual carriageway to then go past the courts or to go through Skulls and Welly. Opposite that is a car park there, which is a Wigan Council car park as well. I think they have the multi-storey near the bingo hall, but I think that's it for Wigan Council. Again, I'm prepared to be corrected on that. So we had a massive car park that was free at the weekends in the town centre. Now they're all out there outside of town centre. Most people, when you pop it into town centre, now park in the Tesco car park, because that's free all week for 2 hours, and you can do your bits and pieces. A number of people I've heard, even in the short time I've been reopened, saying, "Oh, I can't stop. I'm on Tesco. I've got to be gone within 2 hours." So yeah, we need to sort that out. Another thing as well is that, as I've said before, more bus lanes would make more sense. Electric buses at that too. Now I know Andy Burnham, who is Labour, is pushing for this new combined run by Greater Manchester transport network, which includes possibly the trains, but definitely buses and definitely trams. No, we haven't got any trams in Wigan. And that's where I go here. I feel that Greater Manchester only thinks of Wigan when there's something in it for them. We have no direct bus route to Manchester from Wigan, and I've heard no direct train either. Apparently there is a direct train, but it's very irregular. No trams, and the bus guideway only goes to Lee. However, we are in Greater Manchester, but many, including myself, feel it's only when it suits the council or Andy Burnham. For example, the clean air zone, when that got brought in. To be fair, it was Wigan Council who asked to be brought into it. At the time, we didn't have any problems with clean air. But now, because of all this congestion being caused by the reducing of lanes and weird stuff that's going on, for example, if you go if you're going the other way under the bridge that I was on about before, and you're heading towards the A49, you've got that bypass that takes you further away from the M6 than if you go along the road that's been there forever, but they've now put it down to a 20-mile-an-hour zone, and they've also weirdly changed the junction where the church is. Instead of a roundabout, it's now, if you're coming towards Wigan, it's a left turn that takes you to Wigan Pier and then sends you on a one-way system out of Wigan. What? You have to signal and turn right to get into, along the side of the canal, to get into Wigan Town Centre. Baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. What is going on? Where is the common sense? This is all planning. This is all Paul Prescott's. I'm not saying he's done it on his own, but he's up there. He's definitely responsible for a lot of this stuff. Hi, Paul, if you're watching still. I hope you haven't turned to drink yet. Anyway, Council Paul Prescott is on the elite cabinet that decides what the non-cabinet Labour councillors will vote for or against. Now, basically, how our council works is, if you're not in Pemberton, and you're in a ward where there's no member of well, no councillor in your ward who is a member of the cabinet, then they have pretty much no say as far as I can make out. They are basically told when to vote. So for example, if a Conservative, Lib Dems, Independent councillor comes up with an idea that may or may not benefit Wigan and the people of Wigan, it is instantly shot down by the cabinet and voted against by every single, apart from maybe one or two, but every single Labour councillor. The Labour councillors, as far as I can make out, are sheep unless they're in the cabinet. If they're in the cabinet, they're the guide dogs. I say guide dogs. I mean the bully boys with the big machine guns. It's not democracy. It's a dictatorship. We need to change how Wigan works. Many councils, this is a throwback to Tony Blair, changing how the way councils work and everything. A lot of councils, the majority of councils, seem to have got rid of this idea of a cabinet, and even if you're in the Houses of Parliament, you've got backbenchers who will stand up and argue against the government about an issue. So, you know, you've got Theresa May, you've got Boris Johnson now who are backbenchers, and various other people as well, who are big names, who are all backbenchers, who are not afraid to stand up and say, you know, this is wrong, we're not doing this right, we need to sort this out. You never get that with the Labour councillors in the council chambers. If you don't believe me, go to Wigan Council, look at the YouTube channel, and look at the videos that they've shot of the council meetings. It's embarrassing. I'm going to be there and I'm going to kick ass. That's what I'm there for. I'm there for you guys. Do you know, if you come to a Wigan Council meeting, you cannot ask a question to any of the councillors. You have to sit there quietly observing what's going on. That's got to change. We've got to have some way of the public asking difficult questions to the people running the council. It's got to be done. And you can't carry on the way that Wigan Council are doing. And that's why I'm standing as an independent councillor. So the back of my leaflet, stick it in your wind if you get one. I'm voting for change for Wigan. I want a council that listens to me. I want Labour out. That's why I'm voting for moi. Independent, join me and let's make Wigan a place to be proud of again. This is Pemberton's Independence Day, and may the 4th be with you. See what I did there? I don't even like Star Wars, I'll be honest with you, but it just seemed apt. So that's my leaflet. So let's get rid of that, and let's have a look at the latest leaflets to come through the doors. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't get these, but I've been offered numerous amounts of these by people who said they were going to put it in the recycle bin, but they thought I might be around. I've only been around one day. I've only posted somewhere in the region of 60 leaflets, and I've already had a number of these given to me. So on Thursday, the 4th of May, vote for your 3 Labour councillors, J Prescott, P Prescott and E Rigby. Like I say, I never even knew E Rigby existed. I apologise, I really do, but I never knew you existed. And I still don't understand why we've got 3 councillors per ward, but anyway, let's just go with it. Adventure Playground. Now, last year I did, and there's a link in the description of this video, I did a video stood outside Norley's Adventure Playground. There are a few kids in the background that you can hear chatting, whatever. Obviously I didn't get them in shot. And I was saying that we need to do something with this. What we need to do is we need to make it somewhere where teenagers and kids feel safe, where they can discuss their issues and things, particularly with social media. A lot of people now are getting TikTok and Instagram, and you've got all these beautiful people who, you know, their age, saying how wonderful their lives are, and they're living on a council estate in Wigan, and they're thinking, well, my life's crap. It's not crap, but we need people to be able to talk to the kids and say to them, look, this is what it is. We've got these huts there. So what I said was basically we pay someone to come in, you know, 2 or 3 times a week, or even once a week. It doesn't really matter. It's more than what we've got now. And we just titivate the area up a little bit. No, Wigan Council have now come up with £450,000 being spent on one playground in Norley. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I said last year that we need to do something. £450,000? When there are people literally going to food banks, there are people literally not being able to afford their electricity and gas, and we are spending £450,000. I'm sure for a quarter of that we could make this park really, really nice. What is near enough £500,000 on one adventure playground? How is that cost effective? I mean, talk about wasting money. Yes, we need to spend money on it because it's been neglected for well over a decade. But really, it's absolutely ridiculous. I can't understand where the logic is. The central tower, I'm sure it had one of them previously. A zip line, definitely had one of them. Swings, and many other features, including a mini football pitch. Work will begin in June, after the elections. Oh, sorry, maybe the money might run out by then. Who knows? It just seems preposterous. Oh, and also as well, look, Norley, not Pemberton Ward, not Pemberton. So let's have a look where it says Pemberton on here. It is a Pemberton Ward after all. No, it says it there. Pemberton Labour Councillors on Facebook. It is live poll, yes. 7 Drive, Kissing Gates. Residents made us aware of off-road motorbikes cutting through the entry from Hodder Close to 7 Drive, putting pedestrians in danger. As a result of this information, as preventative, your Pemberton Ward councillors have funded new set of kissing gates, which are quite tricky if you're in a mobility scooter. But anyway, the easiest problem is to find the people with these off-road motorbikes and take it off them, because all they do is find another route round and annoy other people. Off-road motorbikes, they're really against off-road motorbikes, not as much as me, because they let people keep them. But yeah, residents made us aware of off-road motorbikes racing along footpaths on Falkirk and Selkirk Grove. This is hazardous to pedestrians, and to alleviate this issue, we have funded yellow hoops as a deterrent. Yeah, brilliant. They look amazing, don't they? Wow. But it doesn't stop them going down the other side of the houses. It doesn't stop them going down the roads. It doesn't stop them making noise. You've got to remember that, yeah, they are a danger to pedestrians, but they're also people working night shifts, people with young children, people with mental health issues, people with ADHD and stuff like that who need peace and quiet. Okay, the stuff got to go past your house unnecessarily loud. For example, a police car, an ambulance or something. I say unnecessarily, they're obviously on a mission to go somewhere. But off-road motorbikes and quad bikes, no. You've got to get rid of them. And even maybe kick the people off the estate who actually ride them and use them. Your Wigan Labour pledges to you, even. What? Your Wigan Labour pledges to you. A fully costed budget with no cuts to services or jobs. Here's an interesting fact. The government said that on top of regular rises that you get with the council tax, every council in the country can raise their council tax by 5 extra percent. So that's 5 extra percent to help with rising prices, wages, fuel costs for like dustbin lorries, electricity and all that kind of stuff. The same problem that we all have. So 5%, right. Wigan raised theirs by 4.95%. So they could technically say, we didn't raise them by the maximum amount. Aren't we great? Yeah, you didn't raise them by the maximum amount. You missed the maximum amount by 0.05%. Do you think we are stupid? If you'd have raised them by 4% or even 4.5%, might have let you off a little bit. But 4.95%, nah, you're taking the mickey. Lowest council tax in Greater Manchester. To be fair, my mother doesn't live in Greater Manchester, and her council tax is higher than the Wigan one. It's the only other one I know about. So yeah, we'll give them that one. Supporting our social care workers with the foundation living wage. So again, decent thing to do. We need care workers. That's the beauty of being an independent. Stuff that they do that is beneficial to people, I can vote for. Stuff that they do that is completely stupid, I can object to and I can vote against. As can other independent candidates that may also get elected in this election. There are many. If you don't live in Pemberton, don't worry. Have a look. Go on to the the council website, sorry, look at the results of the last election if you want to vote tactically, and see who came in second and third, and see if you can do it that way. Expanding apprenticeships and opportunities for young people. Well, you can expand anything. You know, if you had one apprentice and one person who may be able to get a promotion, and you make 2 apprentices, you've expanded it by 100%. Continuing free weekend parking, car parking for our town centre car parks. Now I assume that would include Lee, Atherton, and Tyldesley, and any council owns in Standish and any other outlying town. It can't just be Wigan town centre. But anyway, give them that one. Should be 7 days a week, not 1 day a week, but anyway. And supporting the Waspy campaign. I don't like wasps. They're evil. Obviously I'm joking. Antisocial behaviour, Selkirk and Falkirk Grove. There have also been incidents of antisocial behaviour involving children climbing on roofs of bungalows, causing damage to the buildings and putting themselves in danger. To stop this, we have taken measures to prevent access to the roofs. They have, indeed. They've built these gates up. I know that because I was round there today delivering leaflets, and I couldn't actually get no, we didn't get 5% extra pay, Paul, you're correct. I couldn't actually get into the properties to post me leaflets because I didn't have a key, which is fair enough. It's a safe area for people who may be at risk from harm from various other people. So yeah, that's fine. I have no problem with that. The only problem is, if you look at it, it's not that far away from the roof. So if the kids have managed to climb on the roof, they can climb on the roof on the outside. Anyway, they're trying something. Fly tipping and littering. Now there's no pictures because there's 3 councillors probably. I mean, when was a caravan abandoned in the Pemberton ward? I ask. Asking for a friend. Fly tipping littering has been a major problem in the area for quite some time. The reason for that is that you charge people who work for building companies and whatever to go to the recycle centre to dispose of their items. So what they do instead is they chuck it on a country lane somewhere or in a car park behind some houses or whatever because it's cheaper for them. And then you have to pay a fortune to send people out and go and clean it up. So what you need to do is make it free or affordable for businesses to use the recycle centres like the rest of us do, or the majority of us anyway, so that they don't feel the need to fly tip. It's not rocket science. It's dead simple. And in the long run, it'll be cheaper because all the crap will be going to one place rather than being spread all over the borough. Anyway, in order to address this situation, we have conducted regular cleanups of the areas with tons of litter and fly tip items being removed. These pictures are a few of those that have been cleaned up. So we've got 2 single mattresses, what looks like some kind of cat basket and some other detritus, and this caravan. Now, last time I saw a caravan like that, it was on the racetrack. I used to be a chairman of a stock car club, and we had once a year a caravan race meeting, and that was quite a common sight. I've never seen it in Pemberton, but I mean, it might have been hidden away somewhere. Who knows? Easy for them to say. I can't say it. Defibrillators. Brighter Borough funding from your 3 local councillors has been used to provide 3 life-saving, only 3, around the ward. They are located at Norley Hall Cricket Club, 1 Vision Hunter Road, and a third to be, it's not been installed yet, at Pem Taxis. 3. Right, I was expecting, I'll be honest, I was expecting more than 3. Um, One assumes that they're all at schools because of that tragedy where that young 12-year-old lad died in a swimming lesson, and his father has kind of gone to have these put out there. Um, so yeah, one would assume they're at all the schools, or certainly the majority of schools. If they're not, they should be sooner rather than later. But yeah, defibrillators are essential, and there should be more than 3 in the entire ward. Um, just saying. Selkirk Grove. Over recent months, residents of Selkirk Grove have had their properties attacked with graffiti. Councillors have had these cleaned and restored. Recently, the culprits have struck again, and we are awaiting a further clean-up. And they've even put a picture up there that some kid will be really proud at. Look, look, I'm going to vote Labour because they took a picture of my tag. That's the actual term that you use. It's not graffiti, it's a tag. New bins. Pemberton councillors funded new bins in Selkirk, Norley Hall and Marsh Green. We are hoping it will help with the ongoing issue of litter in the area. It's not. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I've not looked for new bins. I live in Marsh Green / Kit Green, but I've not noticed any new bins. I've noticed new telegraph poles, and I've noticed a few other bits and pieces as well, but I've not noticed any new bins. I'm not saying they haven't put any there, I'm just saying I've not noticed them. And litter is everywhere. The worst part for litter at the minute, particularly fly tipping of domestic waste, is the stream which runs into the River Duggy, which goes from where they're building the new houses near Spar, on the green there, and it goes all the way down, particularly where it's a bit more wooded. You've got those little tin metal bridges going over. The amount of litter around there is disgraceful, and it's been like that. I've been filming it since November, assuming at some point there'd be a picture of someone stood next to it going, look, we cleared this up, and I'd be like, yeah, but it's been there since November. You only cleared it up last month because there's an election coming, because that's the way my mind works. But yeah, if you want to put your comments to the Labour councillors, you can. You've got Pemberton Labour councillors on Facebook. You've got j.prescott242 at outlook.com. Outlook? Christ. Elaine58rigby@gmail.com. And obviously you can go straight to the Labour Party and say, oi, what you doing, mate? You're taking the mickey. Remember, you have 3 votes. You don't have to vote 3 times. They don't say that. You don't have to vote 3 times. You don't. If you think Jeanette and Paul are brilliant and you want them to stay on, you can vote for them. If, like me, you're not sure who Elaine is, then don't vote for her. Vote for someone else, preferably me. But don't forget you need your photo ID, because that's just what to be fair, that's what the Tory government's come up with, which I don't agree with, because weirdly, I think it attacks Labour voters more than Tory voters, because Labour voters generally are not middle or upper class, and therefore they may or may not have a driving licence, a passport, bus pass, whatever, no photo ID, therefore they can't vote. And I think that is wrong. I think everyone deserves to vote, even if you're voting Labour. I think you should still be able to vote. Which, how many people do you say doing a party political broadcast actually say? It's not a party political broadcast, it's just me talking. This come a few weeks ago. Marsh Green, Falkirk and Selkirk News. I didn't get it again through my door, obviously. But again, I've got 3 of these. Labour in action. What they should do is put a little line there, and it's Labour in action, not Labour in action. It's Labour in action. They do call. Litter and fly tipping. Oh, they love that, don't they? Litter and fly tipping has been a major issue on Marsh Green and has called upon the use of significant resources to remove and clean up the areas that have been regularly targeted. So, as I was saying, significant resources, i.e. money and people, areas that have been regularly targeted. That's because people can't get an extra bin, for example. If you've got a big family, one bin that's only emptied once every 3 weeks is not enough. What are you supposed to do with the rest of your rubbish? Store it in your garden? No. People are going to just chuck it in the woods next to the river. So what you need to do is give the people the option, if they've got more than, say, 4 people living in a house, that they have an option of 2 bins. That way, less likely of chucking, and you don't need to send significant resources to clean it up. The bin man will just move 2 bins from a house instead of 1. That is not a significant resource. It's cheaper and it makes more sense. To combat this criminal and thoughtless activity, surveillance cameras have been used in the area. This has led to a number of successful prosecutions. Does anyone know anyone who's been prosecuted? Because I don't. We will deploy covert camera systems when and if it is deemed necessary to identify and prosecute those committing the environmental crime of fly tipping. No, what you need to do is you need to remove the need for people to do that by giving them an issue, or giving them a reason, or not a reason, giving them an option or somewhere to dispose of their litter in a correct manner. Here we go again, same picture, exactly the same picture as previously. There you go. Same picture, we've run out of, we've only got one photographer, I assume. Off-road motorbikes. After reports from residents regarding off-road motorbikes racing along the public footpaths between the houses of Falkirk and Selkirk Grove, endangering public safety, we have funded the installation of the yellow hoop barriers on certain footpaths to prevent this illegal activity. Well done you. Bulky waste collection is now twice a year for up to 5 items at a time. Now, I didn't know this, I'll be honest. A third collection will be £25. There is no need to dump mattresses or other items. Just Google Wigan Council bulky waste to arrange a collection. So basically, if you've got some crap like an old sofa or something like that, or a fridge, I assume, and you want to get rid of it, if you type in Google Wigan Council bulky waste, like you would, you can have it removed twice a year, up to 5 items at a time. Sounds good to me. Labour in action. Here we go again. Defibrillators. Borough funding from your 3 local councils have been used to provide 3 life-saving defibrillators around the ward. They are located at Knowley Hall Cricket Club. One visitors. Yeah, you've already told us this. New litter bins. Yes, we already know. Let's have a look at the pictures that are the same, shall we? Let's go back to the mattresses. There we go. A mattress and a mattress. Same picture. To be fair, the fly tipping and the fly tipping is different. Let's flip it over. No, hang on. No, we don't. There we go. Bin. Bin and bin. So we've got bin and bin. We've got a defibrillator and defibrillator. Oh my god. Oh my god. I should have read this before. Oh dear me. So yeah, defibrillators, blah blah blah. Pemberton Labour councillors have funded 3 bins, Kit Green Road, and 3 bins for Falkirk to go along the path that runs next to the old school site. We have already funded 2 bins for Selkirk, which are now in place. We are hoping these bins will help with the amount of litter on the footpaths. Yeah, fair enough. The old Stork site, Kit Green Road. Now, I filmed the council guys parked up here. This has been a dumping ground for a while. If you live in Kit Green, Marsh Green, particularly Marsh Green, there used to be a pub halfway between Top Shops and the school, and it was knocked down years ago. It's called the Stork. Never went in it. I'm not a pub goer, but it was knocked down years ago, and the ground has just been left and it's been dumped on. I don't remember it being quite this bad, but it's a picture. It looks, it looks legit. But I actually walked past and I filmed myself looking at the council workers saying, I bet this is a photo opportunity for Paul Prescott or some other councillor to turn up and go, look, I've cleared this, even though it's been an eyesore for years, which has proven the point I was on about before. But anyway, I think I still have it on my phone. I'll have to check because I had to delete a load of stuff to do another video that I did, so I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, that is fascinating. The site has been a magnet for fly tipping for a long time, yes. And an election comes along, all 3 Labour councillors that are up, whoa, it's been cleaned. After visiting the site recently, we have arranged for it to be cleared once again. The site will now be monitored, and any evidence found that will support prosecution will be acted on to secure the prosecution of those proven to be responsible. The site is a brownfield site, and as such is currently under consideration for development. Yes, should be housing. Should be affordable housing, not rich housing. Hayford Road. During one of our regular estate inspections? Regular estate inspections? Regular estate inspections? Really? We noticed that Hayford Road had once again been targeted by fly tippers, who, due to their illegal and thoughtless activities, which has impacted the rest of the community and blights the area as an eyesore. This has required the council to take action to remove the waste and clear the area at a cost to the taxpayer. Yes, exactly what I've been saying. The people are doing it because you empty the black bins once every 3 weeks. If you've got a big family, once every 3 weeks. I live on my own. I don't mind my bin being emptied once every 6 weeks. I live on my own. If I had a family of 4+ people, that would not work. Where would I put my rubbish? You can only recycle so much. One black bin is not enough. You need to put more black bins out there. I dare say in a year's time, when the next election's on, they'll be saying, we've given large households 1 extra bin, free of charge. Yeah, it was my idea. And it's not even my idea, it's just common sense. Anyway, but this is not a legal document for voting, as far as I was aware, because this come out on the Councillors and Police Surgery, St John's Church, Saturday the 25th of March, 2 till 4, all welcome. Probably not including me. Not that I'm bothered. That's no good. You need to have regular councillors' surgeries. Police, yeah, obviously they're busy, they've got other things to do, so maybe have them, you know, maybe once every blue moon. But councillors should be able to be spoke to by the people of the ward on a regular basis, and that is the first time I've ever seen anything that says there's a councillors. I'm not saying they don't do them, I'm just saying they don't do them regular. And I wouldn't do it in one place. People work on a Saturday, so I wouldn't always do it on a Saturday. I work on a Saturday. I do it on different days of the week. I do it at night time. I do it in a pub. I do it at a school. I do it in a church. I do it, I don't know, in a park. If it's sunny and it's a Sunday afternoon, let's all meet up in a park, maybe Redwood Park or somewhere like that. Let's have a chat, let's get to know everyone, let's know what really winds you up. That's what it's about. We've also got here, don't forget to register for postal vote or take photo ID to vote on election day. Councillors Paul and Jeanette Prescott and Councillor Elaine Rigby. So yeah, one reason why I had to have my leaflets printed out of the area is because all the Wigan councillors were having theirs printed and I couldn't find anyone who could do it quick enough. Which brings us to next year. Last year even, not next year. And this is my leaflet for last year that I gave out. And to be fair, nothing's really changed. It's exactly the same stuff as I was on about last year. So we've got, you know, vote for me, vote for a totally new era in politics in Wigan, that's the same. All the pledges, regular meetings in the ward, fortnightly, different times and places, so most of you can get involved. Ask what you want and then put your request to the council. Donate up to half, excluding legitimate expenses of my income from the council, to worthy causes. Speak to Kraft Heinz regarding their decision not to investigate Green. That was last year. There was an issue with the workers and everyone, and they decided to pull out investment in the plant. Hopefully that's changed since then. Ask questions why our proud energy providing history is not involved with the green future energies, for example hydrogen or solar power, although I'm not a big fan of solar power. Green hydrogen, 100% the way forward. Battery cars, absolute joke. I mean, apart from the fact now we're getting, we had a collapse of a car park in America this week, and electric cars are so much heavier than standard cars, but you've got all the precious metals in there, you've got all the chemicals in there, you've got all the plastic encasing the battery, and then what do you do with the battery when it runs? Electric is not the way forward. What we need to do is somewhere like Goulburn or somewhere else like that in Wigan, get a big company in like Toyota looking at green hydrogen, let them have an area of land, develop it, get good jobs in there, good money in there, and come up with green hydrogen, which can be transported to existing petrol stations, so no cabling all over the world. Remember, it's not just Wigan, it's the whole planet that's going to have to be cabled for electric cars. We want to strengthen garages and car parks and all that kind of stuff. It just makes more sense, green energy. If you want to see more about the green energy and what I think about it, then just go on to pretty much any What a Week That Was that I do live every week. Attempt to stop the redevelopment of the galleries. Well, that's not going to happen now, is it? But we can certainly change what's going to be built there. Stop the building of cycle lanes and invest in bus lanes. Makes more sense. Question road strategies, for example, blocking off Mary Lane and stopping right turns in the industrial estate around it. The narrowing of the left turn into King Street and the new junction on Poolstock Lane near the church, which is what I've already mentioned today. Be proud of our remaining heritage and work to save what is left for our future generation, which takes us back to what they were saying about protecting Wigan's heritage. Combat antisocial behaviour, make a minimum of 50% of all houses built from now on that are within the reach of our children and grandchildren. The way I come up with a while ago is that you can only buy a house in Wigan if you went to primary school in Wigan, and that way it keeps out the other people and also reduce the costs to people as well. About me, I'm a year older. Clean air zone, it's not gone away. Don't think the clean air zone has gone away. Look at places like Oxford, look at other Bristol and other places as well. They're doing this 15-minute city thing. Basically, they divide up an area, which would probably be great in Manchester to be fair, and if you drove from Wigan Borough to Bolton Borough, you would incur a charge if you did that more than say 10 times a year. They are trying to screw us motorists, and I'm not for it. If we had better public transport, if we had better facilities for people to get around, then yeah, let's get rid of cars. But we haven't. It's not going to happen anytime soon. Like I said before, you can't even get a bus from Wigan to Manchester direct. It's just pathetic, the public transport we've got at the minute. So we need cars to get around. I go to my mum's once a week to do her shopping. She's housebound, and I do a shopping for her. Now that would mean me going through, because I go around the ring road, Wigan to Bolton to kind of Oldham, Chadderton, Ashton-under-Lyne, which is Tameside. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I do it every week, so that'd be 52 times a year. Sometimes I have to go more often if she's ill, so minimum of 52 times a year. But I can only do it 10 times, so I'd be charged 42 times, which could be extortionate. So don't think the clean air zone's gone. And also, don't be fooled by the fact that Wigan now has a more serious issue with clean air than what we did previously, because it's all down to what I put here, which is the restrictions of the cars on the roads and everything. Here's a picture you'll never see again. The galleries. From that bit there, that's still there, but all this has gone. And all this is going obviously as well in time. So yeah, let me vote for this election. I've given up with that lend me your vote. Just give me your vote and let me keep it, because we need to make change in Wigan. Enough is enough. On May the 4th, 2023, protest by voting for change. Vote for fairness, vote out Labour, vote me. Your truly independent and different choice. Well, you can't argue on that. I'm not different. In a good way. Last year, Paul Prescott delivered this lovely thing. Look, before the beard. I would like to begin offering my thanks to the people of Pemberton Ward who have given me their support during my term of office as their ward councillor. One of their ward councillors. You're not their ward. You're one of 3, which again I didn't aware. That trust has enabled me to work hard on behalf of the whole community, and I believe to make this ward a better place to live in. Well, I live locally in Pemberton Ward on City Road, Kit Green. I know the area and the people, and I believe I understand the issues that concern and affect local people because I live locally, and those things that affect you also affect me. Okay, fair enough, but I'm not on tens of £1,000s a year income. and I don't have a partner who is as well. So it's a bit different for me. I work for myself. I'm self-employed. I don't live a lot of money. I don't earn a lot of money even. And I'm well below the minimum wage, but I'm still happy. But that means I can more than empathise with what people are going through in the real world. We have been and still are living through difficult times due to the COVID pandemic. Well, it was pretty much over by last year, but still. But the policies being pursued by the Tory government make life for communities like ours in Pemberton, Kit Green, Norley and Marsh Green very hard. Wigan Council has faced and continues to face massive government cuts which attack the very foundations of society. These include cuts to social welfare spending, impacting on how we can care for those most vulnerable, and add to that tax increases and the vast increase in the cost of living, all of which make our daily lives so much more difficult. I cannot tell you that I can change government policy which is based on Tory political doctrine rather than on the needs of the people. What I can tell you is that I will fight hard for my community and be available and supportive when you need me. Yeah. Labour in action. I love that. They just can't see the obvious. Falkirk and Selkirk clean up. Well, hang on a minute. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Where are we? This is a year ago. There we go. Selkirk Grove clean up. Yeah, okay. So that's not changed in a year. But look, there are the typical pictures. I did this last year as well, to be fair. Look, here's me. Look at this. Disgraceful. It's gone. Look at this. Disgraceful. It's gone. But look at the grass. Look at the grass. That's been there a while. It's only gone because it's election time. Look at this. Disgraceful. Gone. Look at this. Disgraceful. Gone. Is that even the same? Is that even the same? No, it's not in the same place. Anyway, fly tipping. Removing fly tipping and littering from our streets and parks and green spaces costs £4 million a year, with 700,000 spent on removing fly tipped items alone. Yes, which is why I said it's cheaper to have people bring it to you rather than go out for it. Myself and ward colleagues undertake estate inspections in all areas of the Pemberton ward, which together with reports from local residents allows us to identify these sites. You can call me direct. Recently identified a number of areas on Marsh Green that have been subject to fly tipping, and we cleared the offending items. These items here have gone, but there's still a year on. It looks worse now than it did then. And then this is a bit I like. Highway news. Kit Green Road will undergo complete relining scheme in the near future, with the pedestrian crossings completely refurbished. Okay. That was a year ago. Nothing's happened. Dog fouling. I'm going to stand next to a sign. They've put signs up. No. What you need to do is, you need to get DNA from dogs when they are chipped, and then if you find poo, and it's repeated poo from dogs, you know which dog it is, where it lives. You go around there and you knock on the door. Council pledges lowest council tax in Greater Manchester. Oh, yeah, okay. Investment in social and affordable housing by building over 700 new homes. How many of them are affordable? That's the question. They built a load of new houses on Frog Lane, and I've noticed quite a few Mercedes and Range Rovers parked outside them. Not affordable. Think not. We'll create 100 apprenticeships and graduate positions within the council. Invest and support our communities with a further 1 million community recovery fund, 450 which seems to have gone to the Norley playground thing. Continue to work with our community groups and environmental volunteers and create a cleaner and greener borough. Free weekend parking for... No, it should be free parking, period, on council car parks. So there you go then. Those are the leaflets over the last 12 months. Looked at in depth. 1 hour and 9 minutes. Obviously, it goes without saying, I want you to vote for me. I don't go for the dirty politics tricks that Sir Keir Starmer goes for against Rishi Sunak. But remember, Labour used to be a party of the people. It's currently run by a Knight of the Realm, who's a very, very, very rich man. It was previously run by Jeremy Corbyn, who was so far left you could see him at your right eye. Labour is not what it used to be. There's absolutely no reason to vote for a party, regardless of who that party is, because a long deceased ancestor of yours used to vote for them. Those days are gone. Politics has changed. Everything has changed. The world has changed. And that's why Wigan needs change. So, May the 4th be with you. On the, sorry. It's just, I don't even like Star Wars. I've only ever seen one film, I'll be honest. But yeah, vote for me. You've got 3 votes. You can vote for either one person, ideally me, and no one else. That is fine. You can vote for 2 people, as long as one of them's me. Obviously, you can vote for anyone, but I prefer it if it was me. That's fine. And you can vote for 3 people, and that's fine. You can only vote for one person. You can only vote once, sorry, for any person. So if, for example, you wanted to vote for me, you can't vote for me 3 times. You can't vote for me twice. You can only vote for me once. And if you want to vote for one of the Labour candidates, the Lib Dems or Conservatives, you can only vote for them once as well. We need to change the politics in Wigan. We need to do something that is different. We need to make a change. And the only way we can do it is by voting. If you don't vote, nothing will change. It doesn't take many votes to change things. So please vote on the 4th of May for preferably me, but at least vote. That's the thing. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are. Don't forget to check out the Wigan Watch playlist, which is up there somewhere, and there's another playlist down there as well, and you can also subscribe as well to the channel. There's a lot more on it than politics. Like I said before, I have a sense of humour and I enjoy life, but I want to do something for the people of Wigan, and that is why I'm standing as an independent candidate. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your votes, and there will be more videos coming. If you're a regular Wigan Watch viewer, I do apologise that this is a political special, but a lot of the stuff I've said here is relevant in other parts of Wigan, and, to be fair, in the wider community as well. You may be in an area that's a Conservative run council, or a Lib Dems council, or an independent council, or a combination of all the above. The thing is the same. You've got to vote if you want to make change. If you don't want to make change, if you want everything to stay as it is, just don't bother